Ding dong, the witches did the wicked. Can you guess what we're going to talk about today? One down, one to go. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thank you again for hanging out with me on my channel today. Before we start today's video, a reminder that we're going to talk about Cynthia Williams. We are going to bash and trash and just have a good time talking about the person that we are very happy is gone. The fact that she is no longer with the company and stepping away leaves us with a whole array of possibilities for a company like Hasbro. But there are some things we cannot ignore, and we can just take a moment and just be thankful that she's gone. But at the same time, we have to understand what we've been left with, what the likely outcomes are going to be for a company like this trying to fill those shoes, and what we will likely see going forward. Now, let's start off with a little video clip. So a little over 750 days ago, when Cynthia Williams was hired and the world rejoiced, the investors, the company were super happy, and we are just so glad to have her on board, coming from Amazon and Microsoft and finding ways to monetize and grow those platforms and just bring about a better kind of business, a way to succeed. And she was ready to learn the business and grow with this company and make everything just a better place for everyone involved. And from Hasbro's point of view, at the beginning, she did a great job. She followed Chris's blueprint. She made the company money. Under her guidance, crazy things went on, and they were generating a lot of profit. But what went wrong? Well, so many things went wrong. Which one do we pick a point on in a 10-minute video? How do we actually condense everything that went on in her 2 years? During COVID, post-COVID, and where we are today. Because this next little clip of only a few seconds put a smile on the Moxman's face. Everything just feels better, doesn't it? Now that the happy, joy feelings are out of the way, let's take a moment to reflect on what could have happened. Now, I did spend a couple hours calling around to friends with connections in like-minded industries of a general size comparable to Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. And it took a while to get the info I wanted. I got directed to some other people. But friends of friends who knew friends let me know that there are a couple of scenarios in which Cynthia Williams may have left or been gently shown the door. If she resigned of her own accord, there could have been reasons for her resigning. It could be everything from personal health issues to being shown the door because, hey, things aren't going well at the company. We need a cheaper person in. You'll take your stock options. You will go and be happy. Or she got poached. She got pilfered and taken away. All of these scenarios are likely. They all could have happened under varying circumstances. So until we see her show up somewhere else, or we find out down the road that Cynthia chose a different path because of health issues, maybe she's taking care of a sick family member, maybe she has other issues to deal with, we don't know. And really it doesn't matter, because the end result is the same. The company's stock dipped a little bit yesterday. Not massively, by the way. I mean, Chris Cox is still there. The golden boy with the golden parachute is still at the company. One to go. Now, whoever Chris Cox decides to hire is still going to be taking marching orders from Chris and still following their blueprint. Remember, they went from a broad range of products and they narrowed everything down to focus the income stream, which means whoever comes in has big shoes to fill. Imagine being hired at a company, being told, this is what we expect. And by the way, Chris always had some list of people who he would like to have join the company to take those roles. Any good manager or higher up in management, senior management, has a list of people they would like to bring over or like to hire. I do so myself, so I know they would do the same. And they're a lot bigger company. So when we look at this and we see how this could be pulled together, when Chris hires someone, there'll be conversations, there'll be dinners, there'll be cocktail parties about the successes and failures of what the company went through with Cynthia Williams in her tenure, which is only like 750 days. It's not like it's massive. This isn't like she was here for 10 years. Like a lot of senior administrator type people, VPs and presidents, they do tend to pop off and pop in, come in for a specific job and then leave. And she got paid big money to do it, remember. No matter what, she's fine. She made millions of dollars a year. I assume she's been taken care of, regardless of the reason she left. So Chris comes in. He could hire a relative unknown who maybe knows the Magic card game, knows more about the company than Cynthia did when she came in, and won't read from Wikipedia pages. That's not going to happen. I'm sure whoever comes in, they're going to learn from the mistakes. They're going to sit down at this party here. They're going to go through everything. From 30th anniversary all the way through to Secret Layers, the upcoming sets. And then after this person has been chosen, then they're going to meet with all the divisional heads. Everything from board games all the way through to Magic the Gathering, right? Digital, everything. You meet with these people, you get to know them, and you kind of get a feel of what's going on. Remember, it does take a while for these people usually to settle in. Especially if it is kind of unexpected, which no matter what, I think it's still kind of unexpected, but that's just my personal opinion, guys. It doesn't hold any water from what the people I talked to told me. So, a new person coming in, although they'll be following the blueprint of Chris Cox and the company of what it's been doing now, they need to keep that job. They want to show that they can impress. They want to show that they can take their marching orders but still think outside the box. Nobody wants a drone nowadays. You need someone who can make you look good. And they want to make you look good because it makes them look good. It depends. It's a whole pecking order. It depends on how the person is. I mean, I don't know Chris personally, so I don't know how he would, view as somebody as a rival or somebody as, a lapdog. It all depends, guys. It really does. So you have a person coming in, though, and I think they're going to have to find ways of generating revenue. They're going to look at what failed and what worked. But at the same time, they know they got their quarterly earnings coming up. And they know they're in a declining profit margin right now. So at the same time, this isn't a bad time for them to sit back, to sit on the back burner and decide not to do a lot right away. New change is always hard. It takes time to learn things. So maybe they keep the status quo because they probably have enough Magic the Gathering products in the pipeline that whoever they hire will have time to catch up. Don't forget that. This stuff isn't made month to month. It's made a couple of years in advance. They know what R&D has developed, and they're going to send that down the pipe. It's already on its path. So whoever gets hired is kind of watching the product line as things go along. They'll be taking notes at what's successful, what works, what doesn't work, and they will try to advance the company based on those lines and offer up new ideas, new incentives, new ways of doing things, if there are any. Now, I'm not expecting any major changes with the company. The fact they have no one in line to take over means they're probably going to have some VP from another division act as an interim president and dangle the carrot saying, if you perform well, this job could be yours. They have enough products in the pipeline that no major changes have to happen, probably from any division. Companies like this think far ahead. But when the changes come, this is something we have to discuss. When the changes come, the biggest changes will be Magic the Gathering. It is the golden goose that gives them the most money, and they're going to try to shake it up and see if they can find new ways to generate revenue. But the new person coming in, whoever they may be, people tend to forget the dog-eat-dog world. They know their shelf life is very short. It is perform or get out, walk the plank. So they'll be doing everything they can in that first 12 to 24 months to secure their own golden parachute. They'll sign contracts, stock options. That's what's wrong with a lot of executives. They don't stick around companies a very long time and aren't the dedicated people that are trying to really love the company and grow the company. They're there for the short term. Get mine, get out, move on to the next thing. And that's where a lot of damage comes. That's where a lot of buildings get destroyed in the process because they just rampage through and wreck everything. Remember that game, Rampage? Great game. But they destroy those buildings. And they have to be rebuilt. But they don't get rebuilt. They're left as rubble because nobody cares enough to build it, to drive that consumer base forward. Instead, they're squeezing as hard as they can when really they need to plant a new tree. They need to grow that tree. They need to grow that fruit and pick it delicately, not trash it. Because when you trash it, the tree may come alive and bash you with it. Remember the OpenGL license stuff? The stuff from D&D did teach Wizards of the Coast that they got to be a little bit more careful than they're being. 30th anniversary was another slap to the face that they had to deal with because you have a lot of people who are high-end collectors who aren't going to settle for that. And of course, they just prompted the proxy market to say, look what you can do. Wizards is promoting it themselves. So I think you'll see a step back from that. But other than those things probably being left alone, they're going to be looking at expanding other areas of Magic the Gathering. So don't be surprised if they go heavy into the universes beyond more than we expect. If there already isn't licensing deals happening with some other IPs, the new person coming in will be taking a very close look at how they can expand Secret Layers, the licensing for like Universes Beyond, maybe try to kick off some kind of Magic the Gathering movie with something to pick up the interest and drive things forward. Guys, even a TV show at this point could make them be a household name if it's got the right directors and the right people attached to it. And these are avenues that a new president is going to take. They're going to look at the doors that are still open and where the grease can be applied to make it happen. Either way, I think it's going to be a fascinating time to see what happens in the next 7 to 12 months of this and see what these new announcements as they come around. I'll let you guys know if anything else comes from information I learn later on. It's still a great day in Magic. I'm glad she's gone. I didn't like her. You guys knew that. And I'm happy. I'm going to enjoy the moment. I'm going to go make dinner for the family. And I'm just going to call it a win. Even if it's a temporary win, I'm calling that a touchdown. Home run hit. It's great. Thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today. It is a great day to be in the world of Magic the Gathering with you today, April 17th of 2024, when I recorded this video. Guys, have a great one. Guys, a big shout out, a thank you, an amazing thank you, a huge thank you to all the amazing patrons we have here on the channel. Those patrons allow for daily uploaded content to happen every single day, like the glorious resignation of Cynthia Williams. This is just the right day. Of course, we've also got YouTube membership members. We got people who use my affiliate links from TCG Player. Thank you guys. Thank you. This day is so good that I don't need coffee. I need nothing. This is a happy, happy, joy, joy day. And I don't know if even winning the lottery would make this a better day. And I understand that horrible things could happen later. But for the moment, this is just a win. And we are going to enjoy it together. Guys, I don't know, man. It's crazy to think that it happened. I'm not really that surprised. And the people I talked to basically told me the same thing. These kind of shakeups, usually people like this are brought in to do certain things. And they already are, like, it could have been, like, planned. So we'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. You won't know until she turns up somewhere else. And I don't care, honestly. After she's gone, I don't care. But I do care about the new person coming in being someone who actually understands that it's Magic and D&D and that board games are kind of an aside. That's all. Anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to put Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead in the comments section as many times as we can.